Welcome back to Buy or Buy. Today we're looking at the 2022 to 2026 Subaru WRX, the VB chassis, 5th generation WX nameplate, the first all-new WRX since 2014, the first with a 2.4-liter boxer engine, the first without an STI variant in 20 years. Plastic body cladding everywhere, hexagonal grille, hood scoop heritage intact. No STI ever coming.
271 horsepower from a 2.4-liter turbo boxer, 258 pound-feet, 6-speed manual or SPT CVT.
36 grand new for premium, 47 grand for the TS, 26 grand used for 2022. No STI.
Section 1. Who and cross shop. Okay, let's dive into this. Who is actually putting down hard-earned money for the VB chassis today? And what exactly are they cross-shopping it against before they sign the paperwork?
So this car appeals directly to affordable all-wheel drive performance shoppers and those hardcore Subaru brand loyalists. We're looking at rally enthusiasts wanting a rugged sports sedan. We've got lapsed VA chassis WRX and STI graduates. Oh, and those manual transmission holdouts. You know, the folks who absolutely need a dual-purpose daily driver that can just dominate winter conditions with zero drama.
When you look at the competitive matrix, the WRX slots perfectly into a very specific gap in the market. On the lower end, you have the front-wheel drive Honda Civic Si FE1 sitting at 30 grand with 200 horsepower. We actually covered that in a previous explainer. Then you've got the heavyweights, the front-wheel drive Civic Type R FL5 at 45 grand, the all-wheel drive Volkswagen Golf R MK8 also around 45 grand, and the Audi S3 8Y stretching from 46 to 52 grand. There's also the Hyundai Elantra N at 33 grand, and the 3-cylinder Toyota GR Corolla at 40 grand. The WRX Premium at roughly $36,920 splits the difference flawlessly. It gives you an all-wheel drive powertrain for just a bit more than the SI, but heavily undercuts the elite tier. Bottom line, the WRX occupies a unique, nearly unchallenged space as the affordable, manual, all-wheel drive daily driver.
Section 2. The gems. Let's transition with some high energy into every reason this vehicle completely justifies its existence in the modern automotive landscape, starting right under the hood.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the core architecture, because it defines this car. The FA24F 2.4-liter twin-scroll turbo flat-4 boxer is the much-anticipated replacement for the 2.0-liter FA20 DIT from the previous V8 chassis. You get 271 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. Because of that flat boxer layout, the center of gravity remains incredibly low, making it literally stick to the pavement. Power is routed through Subaru's legendary standard symmetrical all-wheel drive system, sitting on the rigid Subaru Global platform. Plus, the standard 6-speed manual transmission is an absolute rarity to find in 2026. For those opting out of the manual, the Subaru Performance Transmission, or SPT, provides a CVT with adaptive shift control and rev-matching downshifts.
But the real standout here is the new TS trim. For $46,875, this is your sub-Golf R bargain. The TS gets electronically controlled adjustable dampers specifically tuned by STI, which is a massive, defining upgrade. It stops using these huge Brembo 6-piston front gold calipers, and you sit in deeply bolstered Ultrasuede Recaro front seats while pulling telemetry off an exclusive 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. Also standard for 2024 and up is the 11.6-inch Subaru StarLink touchscreen.
Beyond the sheer performance, it totally retains its practical, safe roots. Built at the Gunma plant in Japan, sharing platform cousin DNA with the BRZ, it carries the heritage of Subaru's WRC rally lineage dating back to 2002. The hood scoop heritage is completely intact, and it's incredibly safe, an IIHS Top Safety Pick and 5-star NHTSA rated. From 2025 onward, Subaru even managed to make their EyeSight Driver Assist suite standard on the manual transmission models. Bottom line, the VB WRX delivers a tremendous mechanical package, blending authentic rally heritage with modern chassis dynamics at an accessible price.
Section 3. The issues. But it is not all golden. Let's pivot to dissect every known flaw, compromise, and recall associated with the VB chassis. Let's move to and see how this builds chronologically, starting with the critical recalls you must verify before you hand over any cash. In 2022, there was an NHTSA recall because the EyeSight High Beam Assist had incorrect manual instructions, failing federal motor vehicle safety standards. But the critical mechanical one hit in 2023, an NHTSA recall for the front drive shaft outer race, which can actually develop cracks. Seriously, if you are shopping for a used model, you absolutely must verify that this drive shaft fix has been completed. Rapid firing through the moderate issues, there are 42 total NHTSA complaints logged across 2022 to 2025 builds, frequently targeting the engine, safety systems, and transmission. Speaking of the transmission, the SPT CVT is extremely temperature and strategy sensitive. Track use actively degrades the CVT's life. It will aggressively torque limit itself to manage heat under repeated hard runs. Then there's the exterior styling. The unpainted plastic body cladding around the wheel wells is highly controversial, millennial bait that many critics argue looks entirely out of place on a street car. Inside, the cabin feels kind of dated, heavy with hard, cheap plastics that are really tough to swallow when you're paying $45,000 for a TS trim. And running costs aren't cheap. The FA24F requires premium 91-octane fuel and returns a mediocre real-world 22 miles per gallon combined, with EPA estimates sitting at 19 city and 26 highway.
And then there is the massive defining absence of this generation. There is no STI variant. None exists, and none is planned for the VB chassis. The STI was restricted to the previous VA chassis from 2015 to 2021 only. That means the 271 horsepower output remains entirely unchanged across all trims, disappointing enthusiasts who are looking for a higher horsepower flagship. You also have modest trunk space and a manual gearbox that can feel distinctly notchy when cold. Bottom line, the WRX demands compromises in interior quality, fuel efficiency, and aesthetics, while forcing enthusiasts to accept the death of the STI flagship.
Verdict? Maybe. Section 4. The verdict. Let's confidently summarize the core conflict of this car. It is one of the very last affordable all-wheel drive performance sedans available with a manual transmission.
Think about it. You are getting a potent 271 horsepower turbo boxer, standard symmetrical all-wheel drive, a 6-speed manual. And if you step up to the TS, electronically controlled adjustable dampers tuned by STI along with Brembo brakes, all wrapped in an IIHS Top Safety Pick with undeniable rally heritage. But it is heavily plagued by valid criticisms. The plastic body cladding looks cheap. The interior materials don't match the $45,000 pricing of upper trims. There is absolutely no STI variant available. And you have to navigate a 2023 driveshaft recall alongside 42 NHTSA complaints.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how you navigate the market. Buy a 2025 TS at $47,000 with the 6-speed manual and those adaptive dampers. It gives you a near STI experience without the boy racer aesthetics. Alternatively, buy a 2023 or 2024 Limited or GT with a manual for under $32,000 used, but only if you have documented service records and verify the driveshaft recall is actually complete. On the other hand, say bye to any SPT CVT car with a track history because of that severe CVT heat damage risk. Say bye to any 2023 model where the driveshaft recall completion cannot be verified, and absolutely walk away from any car with an audible boxer rattle on a cold start.
Bottom line, the plastic body cladding is always going to be divisive, and the death of the STI nameplate still stinks. But it leaves us wondering about the legacy of this 5th-generation chassis. Does the TS package finally deliver a worthy STI replacement without the badge? Or will this generation always be defined by exactly what it's missing? Think about that as you browse the market. Thanks for hanging out for this explainer.